Riding that would leave your features pale. Are they folklore? Are they legend? Or just old stockman's lies? Is there truth behind these stories played out neath starlit skies? Did the man from Snowy River really take that dare and leap? Or was it just a vision come to banjo in his sleep? Do the stockmen know that country like the back of their own hand? Do they bond with horse so strongly that as one they roam the land? Does disaster or an urgency bring a hero into sight? Does a scrap for life and death cause a noble heart to fight? When the Snowy River mountains were caught alike in flames, the title of a hero was waiting to be claimed. And many stood to challenge the flames and daunting plight. Firefighters, tireless workers, toiling boldly day and night. The fire had swept the mountains, no ridge, no plain untouched. Local owners stood between the fire and land they loved so much. Bulldozers called for fire breaks. They would need an escort through. 2 mountain men on horses forged ahead. They never knew that the fire would catch a headwind and turn with power to stun. The dozers ploughed through blistering flames, but men and horses trapped must run. Terry Wellsmore on the chestnut, brother-in-law Mark upon the bay. The race that stood before them, they wished they'd fed them oats, not hay. Their only chance outrun it, that the flames would scold and singe. They must race through Devil's Cauldron with the prize of life to win. Terry's home was in these mountains, still with horses in his blood, but a wave of fear and panic swamped his mind and soul like flood. From a child these tracks he'd ridden, each one he knew so well, but they now bore close resemblance to the fiery depths of hell. They were galloping together, Terry urged Mark by his side. We must make it to a clearing. Ride, mate. Bloody ride. The horses had to be frightened, what with chaos all around, but they laid their ears to proud, bold necks and powered over ground that was treacherous in daylight, when the path ahead was clear. Now they galloped through a wall of smoke, through bush alive with fear, for kangaroos and wallabies, coats singed and half alike, bounced into Mark and Terry. They were wild and blind with fright. The wind was playing havoc, the fire swept and swayed, but in all of this commotion, both men made time to pray. Mark beckoned to his brother, who 3 years ago had died. Stay with me now, beside me. Help me finish out this ride. Terry too had thoughts of loved ones, 2 small boys and darling wife. Did they know how much he loved them? How they all fulfilled his life? Would he ever see the dawning of a new day with his clan, or would his body fuel the fire as it rampaged, bucked and ran? They were jumping fallen timber, barbed wire fences, broken ground. The pounding of their hearts was drowning out all other sounds. Terry noticed in the distance a glimpse of open land, but the fire swept around them like a huge volcanic hand, blocking path and blocking freedom, no way out. To stay men die, so they turned their steeds to whence they came and let their horses fly. Retracing burnt and broken ground, flames leaping at their skin, both man and horse exhausted, but neither would give in. Terry headed for the water that he knew would save their lives, but he had to fight a feeling that cut his heart like knives. The creek lay behind 2 ridges, just 1 kilometre away, too steep for tired horses. Doc and Bobby had to stay. They removed bridles and saddles one last stroke before they fled. Terry thanked them for their bravery, for the heart and soul they bled. Both men headed for the ridges, for the safety of sheer rock, but they saw what lay before them and they both near died of shock. 300 vertical metres with fire behind them on attack, they slid and rolled to safety on blistered legs and bruising backs. They dove into the water for liquid fuel intake and shared this blessed billabong with lizards, birds and snakes. Their loved ones on the lookout. They prayed for their return. They knew Terry knew the mountains and were sure they hadn't burned. The chopper got their signal and rescued them at dawn. They were fed a hero's breakfast. Yet both men still looked forlorn to leave their horses, stranded, all alone to flee the flames, would torment the men forever. But there was no fault to claim. They'd searched for 3 long days, but horses vanished with the smoke. The charcoal, smouldering land had wrapped them up within its cloak. Terry, saddened by their missing, dropped down to bended knee. Then a whinny from his comrades came a-floating on the breeze. They'd escaped the fire's fury to a neighbour's pastured flat. Terry rose to greet the heroes that brought he and brother back from the jaws of fiery death. They'd cheated and they'd won. Both men stood beside their horses on the mountain, 'neath the sun. So is this tale of bravery just another myth being made, or did it really happen and legend's part being paid? Well, both men live to tell the story, and they'll tell the truth with pride of how they raced the devil's beast and how they won the ride. Thanks very much.